Good morning, class. This is Ishita ma'am, and again back with the teaching learning video. I guess you're all doing well at home and being at home and all being safe and fine. So, we were all doing the second chapter from your Beehive book, that is, The Sound of Music, Part 1. So, to brief up the last day's lesson, I had started reading and explaining the chapter in detail. And I've also told you to go through the chapter as much as possible and see and understand the explanations which I have already done. So we were reading about Evelyn Glennie, who is a world famous multi percussionist. She is a Scottish girl and she is an international icon. But there were certain limitations in Evelyn Glennie's life, and it is that she is profoundly deaf. Just at the age of 16, she thought of taking music as her career. Though in the schools she was not let to continue because of her deafness, but she, out of her sheer determination and spirit, she did not give her hope. So Evelyn Glennie got the maestro's blessing in her life, and that's Ron Forbes, who was also a percussionist, and he told Evelyn Glennie to sense music or to feel music through the different parts of her body and not just to listen to them or trying to listen to them. And it so happened with so much days of practice and all, Evelyn Glennie could hear the higher drum beats through her waist upwards and the lower drum through her waist downwards. Okay. And with that, I also told that Evelyn never thought that she is doing something very heroic. For her, it is just that you need to fix a goal, you need to work hard, and of course, you will be getting your goal achieved. So today we are going to start from para 6. It is intriguing to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. In our 2-hour discussion, she never missed a word. Men with bushy beards give me trouble, she laughed. Okay, this is Evelyn Glennie, another picture which is there in your book. So what happens? Not just watching the lips, it's the whole face, especially the eyes. Okay, so this is very intriguing to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. I had told you that Evelyn Glennie used to perform in the orchestra and later she became one of the soloists also. But then it is very intriguing to understand that or to watch how Evelyn performs so effortlessly without hearing. If you see any of her program and you find that Evelyn Glennie is playing the music and nobody will be able to understand or even guess the fact that she is not somebody who could listen well, but she is all deaf. So, and when just she's giving her interview, she just says that it's very difficult for her to talk with men with bushy beard. Why? Because it's the whole face, especially the eyes. So, so through the words, we can understand that for Evelyn Glennie, it's very difficult when she talks with men with bushy beard. Why? Because whenever she is talking with someone, you are just asking her a question and she is responding it just instantly. There, she understands by reading the movement of the lips along with the whole face expressions and especially that of eyes. Okay, so she finds it difficult when men with bushy beard come. Why? Because when you have beards and that too which are bushy, then it's not the lip movements or the facial expressions are not very clear to her, and for that it's a bit of difficulty for her to response or to converse with those very people. She speaks flawlessly with a Scottish lilt. My speech is clear because I could hear till I was 11, she says. But that doesn't explain how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. So what happened? That Evelyn Glennie was not a deaf and dumb girl right from her birth. Okay, as we have read it, that because of some nerve problem, her listening ability was disabled. Okay, but then she says that my speech is clear because I could hear till I was 11. Till 11 years age, she could hear words. Till 8, she could hear most of them, and till 11, it was few. So, though she could listen to those words, she says that she could speak flawlessly. Okay, because by the age you are 11 or 10 years old, anybody can speak well because all the words you get to know. But then she says, but then if we can take it for granted that okay, this is the way or this is the reason for which she can speak so fluently, but that doesn't explain how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. Not only the Scottish lit. It's not very clear that okay, till the age of 11 she could hear the Scottish words, for that she could speak them well. But what about French and the basic Japanese? Because she could also speak well with this French and Japanese. So it's only by the moving out the lip sync or understanding the expressions she could also master over not only the Scottish dialect or the Scottish language but also French and the basic Japanese. As for music, she explains, it pours in through every part of my body. It tingles in the skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. Now see, how does she explains music? Or what is music for her? It pours in through every part of my body. Just as we can say that it's blood that pours in our body parts, she says that it's music that pours in through every part of her body. It tingles in the skin. Somehow it's tingling or it point out in the skin, sometimes in the cheekbones and even in her hair. When she plays the xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up the stick into her fingertips. So xylophone is an instrument where you need the stick and to play the rods there. Okay, so there she says that when she plays xylophone, she can sense that the sound right from the xylophone is passing up the stick and to her fingertips. By leaning against the drums, she can feel the resonances flowing into her body. Of course, drums do have a beat and a resonance and a vibrations there. So when she leans forward towards that, she could feel that the resonances of the drum flowing into her body. On a wooden platform, she removes her shoes so that the vibrations pass through her bare feet and upper legs. Last to last video which I had uploaded because to explain or to introduce Evelyn Glennie in front of you. If you can just look at those slides once more, you'll find there's one picture which I have given of Evelyn Glennie when she was doing the performance. Probably that is the last slide which is there. So there you can find that Evelyn Glennie is all barefooted. Okay, she is not wearing any sort of shoes or anything like that on stage. Okay, so what happens that in the wooden platform, she removes her shoes so that the vibrations pass through her bare feet and up her legs. Okay, the vibrations would pass there through her bare foot and then to the different parts of the body. When you are wearing shoes, there's the vibrations will not be felt much, but when you are barefooted, the vibrations could be felt so much. Not surprisingly, Evelyn delights her audiences. In 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. So, not surprisingly, of course, with all these difficulties or with all these limitations, Evelyn Glennie never misses a scope to delight her audience. In the year 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. Says master percussionist James Blades, God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us, and that is why she expresses music so beautifully. So, it's Evelyn Glennie and music, two sides of the same coin. So, this man, another master, James Blades, he just says that Evelyn Glennie was given extraordinary power. With that, it's also that what we hear she feels, okay, and far more deeply than any of us. As she feels music so deeply, so she could express music so beautifully. Anything which you don't like, which you don't love, which you don't interrelate with yourself, you cannot excel in that very thing. So for Evelyn Glennie, as she loves music and she could feel music passing through the different parts of her body, there music is expressed so beautifully by her. Evelyn confesses that she is something of a workaholic. I've just got to work, often harder than classical musicians, but the rewards are enormous. She, of course, admits that fact that she is a kind of workaholic, somebody who is quite addicted towards work, somebody who loves working. So, Evelyn Glennie accepts the fact that she is a kind of workaholic. She has just got to work often harder than classical musicians. Classical musicians practice so many times, right? So she says that her part of the work is even harder than them, but the rewards are enormous. But whatever she has done, she has been honored for that, she has been rewarded for that, and that's something very enormous. Apart from the regular concerts, Evelyn also gives free concerts in prisons and hospitals. She also gives high priority to classes for young musicians. So what happened? That apart from the regular concerts, Evelyn used to go to prison and hospitals, and there also she used to give free concerts for those very people. So not only a girl who is so good at heart, but somebody who is true to the society as well. She gives the free concerts to the prisons and the hospitals. She also gives high priority to classes for young musicians. Okay, even she started classes for the young musicians as well. Anne Richlin of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children says she is a shining inspiration for deaf children. They see that there is nowhere to go. So she is a shining inspiration for everyone and especially for the deaf children. They see that there is nowhere that they cannot go. If Evelyn can, they can also do that. This is something which has inspired lot many children. So Evelyn Glennie was the pathfinder in which many of these children followed her. They believed that there is nothing which they cannot do. Evelyn Glennie has already accomplished more than most people twice her age. This line depicts what Evelyn Glennie's accomplishment is. Evelyn Glennie has already accomplished more than most people twice her age. Okay? She has accomplished much more than any people who could or any people what they could achieve when they are even double of her age. She has brought percussion to the front of the orchestra and demonstrated that it can be very moving. So, in orchestra, we know there's things what instrument should be kept where. But then, Evelyn Greene brought percussion to the front of the orchestra. It's not that it is somewhere there at the back, somebody who's playing. No, she was the one who could bring it right there in front. She has given inspiration to those who are handicapped people who look to her and say, if she can do it, I can. And not the least, she has given enormous pleasure to millions. Okay, so as I told you, that she has been a living example for anyone who would say that if she can do it, I can. And not the least, she has given enormous pleasures to millions. So she has, with her work, given a lot of pleasure and happiness and satisfaction to different audience and millions of people around the world. Okay, she so, she, Evelyn Glennie, has accomplished many things in her life. If I count out in case of achievements or awards, of course, she has bagged those. But with that, she is a living example for many people out there. And she herself, with her life, had created much of an example which will be remembered by the people of the world for a long time. So Evelyn Glennie's life, students, would of course show us that there's nothing impossible. But you must not lose hope. If you feel like that you need to do it, and of course when it's a good work that you need to do, there will be a lot of obstacles, there will be a lot of problems on your way, but things will all organized if you wish it to be. If you feel like that I'm going to overcome all the problems which I have, of course, truly you can do it. Okay, so Evelyn Glennie, The Sound of Music, Part 1 has been completed today. The reading and the detailed explanation I have all done. Still, if you have any problem, please do write in the comment section. And one more thing, class, the comments which I have been receiving, that don't follow the 1920 last year's syllabus. Your this time things and scenario have changed. Please do follow the lessons which we are all doing here, and you try to follow them, and not and just one to one the chapters which are being done by me or by Tuhin sir, just follow them. You prepare yourselves with this very topic, and whatever the syllabus will be for your pre-med and midterm, you'll get to know it beforehand. But till then, please follow the ones which we are giving out here. Okay, class. So try to find out from this chapter the new meanings and the word meanings which you want, and then I'll be providing with the questions and all. So follow the YouTube channel and the school websites to get updated. And till then, thank you and have a nice day ahead.